So I've come to notice, right, with this whole epidemic of giving advice, because really, life sucks. Things are not going good. Work is harder to find. Uh, Example I'll give is I have an associate's degree from Alfred State in building construction trades and supervision. It's an associate's degree. It's about the same as someone having a bachelor's degree. All right, or I mean a business degree. Okay. I also have 2 years from BOCES for construction. So I have 2 years of actual hands-on experience in that. Then I also have OSHA 30, OSHA 10, NCCER certifications, boom lift certifications, all my tools, references out the wazoo, experience out the wazoo, and I still cannot find a job, a good paying job. Okay, I have a job right now, but it is crap pay, and I am miserable, and I do not want to be here. A lot of people right now that cannot even get entry level jobs in order to, gain experience to move up the ladder. The economy right now, it's actually quite wild. While I was looking for jobs overseas, I'm like, okay, so what kind of construction jobs overseas are there, right? I had a video on here about how, the US sucks. And in that video, I'm talking about an opportunity in Australia for mining. They're paying about 80,000 to 150,000 a year. And you can go, or for 6 months, okay? You go there for 6 months on a work visa, and you leave for 6 months, you come back, and you can keep doing that, right? The U.S. is not able to take advantage of that opportunity because we are not part of the European Union, and there was an issue with Brexit. I'm not into the politics. I don't know all that is to do with that, but I do understand that is the issue, right? NATO and the European Union are two different things, and they are in opposition to each other. So that opportunity is not there. But what opportunities are available in construction overseas, in let's say Asia, and let's say other areas of Europe? I don't know. There were more areas. I didn't really look at the locations as much as I looked at the job. And the jobs, okay, what they're looking for are managers, supervisors, okay, people that are highly skilled, have at least 10 years of experience, and can come in and actually, make some serious change, do some serious things in another country. They're not looking for just workers. They're not looking for someone who needs an opportunity, wants to, check out a different culture and work. They're not looking for that, okay? Each country right now has its own people which can't even find work. So, gone are the days of just being able to hop on a plane and transplant yourself in another country unless you have skills in tech, unless you have skills in engineering, unless you have skills in electrical, unless you have skills in HVAC, and or you have business major or whatever. You're like a manager for a business. It's really anything associated with the accumulation of money as quickly as possible. It's not about infrastructure. They're not looking for really help with infrastructure, unless of course it's nuclear or electrical. So there just aren't really any opportunities for someone in the trades to start in another country. And being as I just listed all the the skills that I have and stuff like that, and I still can't find a job, it's becoming very hopeless. And back to the issue with advice is I just laid out, pretty much what most Gen Z or younger, I don't even like using those terms, but just most younger people are going to face in this economy. And I don't suggest, or I'm not going to tell you that you should just move, right? You should just move somewhere and just try to make it work. But I'm going to do that because I am most miserable. And is it really worth making minimum wage? Dealing with idiots, not having any, any ability to improve your life, improve the trajectory of your life. You know, they tell guys to have a purpose and a vision. But if you can't get that purpose or vision off the ground, what is the point of having a purpose or vision? I personally live day by day. I don't even really know what day it is most days. I have to check my phone. I have no idea because I'm in literally just in survival mode, just trying to get through the day. And I've been homeless. I have lived out of my vehicle. I was in a McDonald's parking lot in Alabama for around 4 to 6 months. It was peaceful. It was freeing. Not having to worry about rent. Just having to worry about food. Not even really having to worry about gas because you're not going anywhere. Okay, I was in the parking lot, and other than that, if you have a vehicle or you're okay being homeless, I personally am fine being homeless. I have actually all the materials. The tent, the first aid, the backpack, the hammock. Anything that you would need to successfully hitchhike, walk across the country, or anything like that. I have the stuff for that because for the last few years, I've pretty much every day thought any second now I could be homeless, and it's not that bad being homeless. But here's what you want to do: you don't want to be homeless in a climate that is nasty. So New York, probably one of the worst places to be homeless because it rains about 30% of the year, it snows 40% of the year, or it's just super cold and icy. And then you got the other, parts of the year where it's like either cloudy, cold, or sunny. So there's not much. There's maybe like 20 to 15% of the year that's actually nice. The rest of it is miserable. And there's really not much to do out here. So I would much rather be in a temperate climate because let's say I move to California, I can't get a job. Well, I'm going to have enough money to at least be able to feed myself. And this is the plan, I plan on going to the outskirts of California where the woods are. And, every day packing my stuff up, going up there, setting up a hammock or something and a tarp if it rains, and going to bed. Then taking all that stuff down and going down to the city and, socializing with people, trying to find jobs, applying. But because I'll be where it's warm, because I'll be where it's, temperate, so it's, there will be days where it's cold. The nights probably will get cold. The winter, I know in Alabama, for sure, it was like 30 degrees in the winter time at night. It was very cold in the car. So I understand that there's times it'll still be nasty, but what is this? You're trying to be a nomad. You're trying to prove something to yourself. What, living in really, really harsh conditions? I don't think so. And if you're already aware that there's not much opportunity, and you've made it up in your mind that you're probably gonna be homeless, I don't want to suggest. I don't want to give advice, but it's something to think about. Even just going out for like a weekend and doing some camping with someone. I mean, if you've gone camping, you've done it for a week, you realize it's tough the first few days. It may even be tough that whole week. Some people, they just don't get acclimated to it. But for me personally, and a lot of guys, about 3 days, you're acclimated to it. Your body's fine, and you actually come to enjoy it. It's very freeing. And being in California, in the outskirts where there's already the most homeless people are in Oregon and California, and New York City. So all these places are near the coast, which is again why they're there, because it's nice to be by the coast. I had not been so content, and I wasn't doing anything. I literally every day for 5 days when I went down to California with my friend, he was out, doing business stuff. I was sitting in my hotel room, eating, doing some video stuff like that, chilling, playing, games downstairs, foosball. They've got so much stuff to do out there. You're not going to be bored. There's always something to do out there. And I get what people say when they're like, oh, but if you have a homestead or you live, you're out in the country, there's stuff to do too. If you don't own the land, there's nothing for you to do. What do you think people with a homestead are doing? They're taking care of their homestead. You just getting a plot of land and having no money to do anything else, that's a waste of, I don't know, that just seems like a waste to me. Because if you're not thinking about building upon it and staying there for the long term as an investment, why would you do it? I mean, I'm on a homestead right now. I have no desire to help them out with anything because there's no incentive. There's no appreciation. There's no incentive. And ultimately, if you were to start, doing this work for people on their homestead, they would grow accustomed to you doing it, and then you would just be doing it. And again, if you're not getting incentivized, you're just getting used. So there's a lot of videos out there, again, giving you advice on what to do with the job market. But I'm here to just suggest, just put a little, seed in your ear that you may want to think about, is the rat race worth it for a place to stay? Okay, I've got my bed here, right? I've got, some clothes and stuff right there. Got my dresser there with clothes. All those bags over there are all my tools, okay? And there's some stuff down there as well. That's all I own. Clothes and tools. So if I'm not going to use this stuff, I might as well store it somewhere and move on until I can figure something out. Why would I continue to stay somewhere because I'm thinking in my mind, oh, well, I've got stuff and I don't want to get rid of it and it's convenient. See, this is why my bud, another reason I cut him off, he really pissed me off with this one, is, we lived in Alabama together in our car as homeless. We worked at McDonald's and then we lived in our car. We would play Frisbee, we'd eat together, we'd talk. It was a great time. We were both happier for it. Then come to find out that, after a year from that, his health got worse and things changed, and I understood all that, but his health is better now. And he is, I just offered to him and basically was just trying to be realistic. It's like, dude, if you can't get a job up here and you haven't been applying to jobs down in California where we're going to go, it might be best if we just go down there and start applying jobs with the location being in California, right? Because the country or states and countries are having no desire to hire you outside unless you have so much to offer that they'd be like, oh yeah, go ahead, we'll definitely hire you. But if you're just basic skills or no skills and you think you're just gonna send your applications out to these other states and you're gonna get a job, I mean, you're in for a rude awakening. You're probably going to have to actually move there first before you start applying. So I offered that to him, and it's not like I'm being a hypocrite. I too am okay with the homeless lifestyle. It's not going to be permanent. We'll get a job down there. I'm optimistic about that. But he just was like, yeah, that's going to be pretty rough being homeless. I'm like, dude, we're going to do it together. I'm going to help you. It's going to be fine. We're going to make it together. But it was such a hurdle for him to go from sleeping in a car to sleeping in a tent that he just was like, I can't do it. And well, that just showed me that he's a quitter. He's a quitter because unfortunately, there's no job out where he is. And he's rotting in his room. I have a job out here, not going great, and then I also rot in my room. So we're both in the same position. And when someone thinks of a solution and even offers to pay and help you, and you still reject it, it just shows that you've given up. You're not willing to try, and you're stagnating, and you're probably going to fail. I know if I stay in the same spot, it's not good for me for too long. I too will develop that mindset. And so knowing myself enough and knowing other people enough that that's going to be the reality, why don't we help each other more? Like, I don't have friends because the people that have said they're my friends, they don't help me. They don't want to talk about solutions. They just want to talk about problems. And I'm right there with them. I complain too. You've seen me on these videos complaining. But ultimately, we get down to a solution. Or we get down to the truth of the situation. And the truth is comfort. So, you're going to see a lot of videos out there that are saying, prepare for homelessness in 2025. And I would take them seriously. I really would. Because the way the economy is shifting, and depending on who gets elected, it could really shift even more. We are shifting towards an economy where corporations and companies want skilled, experienced workers. And they're not settling for bottom of the barrel. If you want bottom of the barrel, that's probably going to be gone too. Like these really bottom of the barrel minimum wage jobs once AI comes, to fruition. McDonald's already has, AI robots doing the orders and making the food. What's a worker for? They might only need a worker just to fill some patties in there, do stuff like that. It's the same thing with the future of construction. There's Adobe homes, which is basically concrete homes, but they're built very differently. They're built much quicker. Let's just say that much. They need less workers, and ultimately the machine is what does the majority of the work. The people there working are just filling the machine or finishing off the product once the machine has done the work. So even in construction, it's almost, if you're at the bottom of the barrel and you don't have like an actual skill, that will be outsourced soon as well. Especially since these major home companies will probably start resorting to using these big, these different home styles if they can. So adaptability is more important now than ever. And if you are just so unable to be homeless or just so unable to be, not have any stability, you're in for a rude awakening when that stability and that job and that safety is going to be ripped out from underneath you. And instead of thinking about it now, confronting the harsh reality of the future, you have decided to stick your head in the sand and, well, you probably won't be prepared. And so instead of shutting down, which I know a lot of the younger generation is doing, they're shutting down because the stuff is, I get it. I get it. Trust me. I was younger at a time. And in the last 3 years, just like the rest of you, I've had to witness this and live it. And I'm here to tell you that it's not worth getting your spirit and soul crushed every single day for hardly any money, hardly any incentive, hardly any upward trajectory. Because you don't want to think day by day. We should have some goals. And we should have some goals that are at least achievable, right? Comparison is a thief of joy because there's obviously going to be people that are just more well off. But now it's getting to a point where you're comparing yourself to people that have had a leg up, that have had all the advantages, while you've just, got the short end of the stick. And I'm here to tell you, it might be better to accept the reality of this world right now and how it does not like poor people. It does not like those that are different. It does not like those that are, looking to do things a more efficient, a more safe, a more, communal way. Not looking for that. They're looking for drones, right? They're looking for a slave mindset where you come in, do exactly what they say. You don't ask why. You don't, ask any questions. You don't oppose them. You don't gossip or slander behind their back. You simply come in, you shut your mouth, you put your head down, you do your job to the best of your ability for shit money, and you go home. That's the future. I don't want that. You may want to consider preparing. Getting your car situated. It's not that bad living in your car. I'm telling you, not that bad. Most front seats can actually recline fully flat. You can put a mattress on that, and it's very, very comfortable. I've had many great night sleeps. It's rough getting the body adapted to that lifestyle, but your body will adapt, and your mind will adapt. And so, be adaptable. Stop thinking about the American dream. The American dream is dead. It died with our ancestors. They're buried in every cemetery around us. So the new American dream should be freedom. Find a way for you to be free. Get in touch with nature. Understand that there's stuff to do. Relocate if need be. Get a new job if need be. Cut people off if need be.